She tied her hair up in a bun and then yanked on a big black gimme cap. The bun made the cap bulge a little behind, but at least no potential witness would be able to say, I didn't get a good look at her face, but she had long blonde hair. It was tied back in one of those scrunchy things. You know, the kind you can buy at J.C. Penney. She went down to the basement where her kayak had been stored since Labor Day and took the reel of yellow boat line from the shelf above it. She used the hedge clippers to cut off 4 feet, wounded around her forearm, then slipped the coil into one of her big pants pockets. Upstairs again in the kitchen, she tucked her Swiss Army knife into the same pocket, the left. The right pocket was for the lemon squeezer .38 and one other item, which she took from the drawer next to the stove. Then she spooned out double rations for Fritzy, but before she let him start eating, she hugged him and kissed the top of his head. The old cat flattened his ears, more in surprise than distaste, probably. She wasn't ordinarily a kissy mistress, and hurried to his dish as soon as she put him down. Make that last, Tess told him. Patsy will check on you eventually if I don't come back, but it could be a couple of days. She smiled a little and added, I love you, you scruffy old thing. Right, Fritzy said, then got busy eating. Tess checked her don't get caught memo one more time, mentally inventorying her supplies as she did so and going over the steps she intended to take once she got to Lacemaker Lane. She thought the most important thing to keep in mind was that things wouldn't go as she hoped they would. When it came to things like this, there were always jokers in the deck. Ramona might not be at home. Or she might be home but with her rapist murderer son, the two of them cozied up in the living room and watching something uplifting from Blockbuster. Saw, maybe. The younger brother, no doubt known in Colwich as Little Driver, might be there, as well. For all Tess knew, Ramona might be hosting a Tupperware party or a reading circle tonight. The important thing was not to get flummoxed by unexpected developments. If she couldn't improvise, Tess thought it very likely that she really was leaving her house in Stoke Village for the last time. She burned the don't get caught memo in the fireplace, stirred the ashes apart with the poker, then put on her leather jacket and a pair of thin leather gloves. The jacket had a deep pocket in the lining. Tess slipped one of her butcher knives into it, just for good luck, then told herself not to forget it was there. The last thing she needed this weekend was an accidental mastectomy. Just before stepping out the door, she set the burglar alarm. The wind surrounded her immediately, flapping the collar of her jacket and the legs of her cargo pants. Leaves swirled in mini cyclones. In the not quite dark sky above her tasteful little piece of Connecticut suburbia, clouds scudded across the face of a three-quarter moon. Tess thought it was a fine night for a horror movie. She got into her expedition and closed the door. A leaf spun down on the windshield, then dashed away. "I've lost my mind," she said matter-of-factly. "It fell out and died in that culvert, or when I was walking around the store. It's the only explanation for this." She started the engine. Tom the TomTom lit up and said, "Hello, Tess. I see we're taking a trip." "That's right, my friend." Tess leaned forward and programmed 75 Lacemaker Lane into Tom's tidy little mechanical head. "33. She had checked out Ramona's neighborhood on Google Earth, and it looked the same when she got there. So far, so good. Brewster was a small New England town, Lacemaker Lane was on the outskirts, and the houses were far apart. Tess cruised past number 75 at a sedately suburban 20 miles an hour, determining that the lights were on and only a single car, a late-model Subaru that almost screamed librarian, was in the driveway. There was no sign of a cab over Pete or any other big rig. No old Bondo patched pickup, either. The street ended in a turnaround. Tess took it, came back, and turned into Norville's driveway without giving herself a chance to hesitate. She killed the lights and the motor, then took a long, deep breath. "Come back safe, Tess," Tom said from his place on the dashboard. "Come back safe and I'll take you to your next stop." "I'll do my best." She grabbed her yellow legal pad, there was now nothing written on it, and got out of her car. She held the pad to the front of her jacket as she walked to Ramona Norville's door. Her moonshadow, perhaps all that was left of the old Tess, walked beside her. "34. Norville's front door had beveled glass strips on either side.